Pagers turned weapons, a new era of terror in Lebanon. Lebanon, a nation accustomed to conflict, faces a terrifying new threat: exploding pager devices. These seemingly innocuous gadgets, once symbols of a bygone era, have been transformed into deadly weapons, spreading fear and chaos across the country. The attacks have left the Lebanese population on edge, grappling with the uncertainty of who is behind the bombings and what their motives might be. The explosions have primarily targeted urban centers, striking fear into the hearts of civilians already grappling with economic hardship and political instability. The use of such unconventional weapons has raised alarm bells internationally, prompting questions about the perpetrators and their objectives. The international community has condemned the attacks, calling for a swift investigation to bring the perpetrators to justice. Lebanese authorities are working tirelessly to uncover the truth behind these attacks. Initial investigations suggest a possible link to the ongoing tensions between Hezbollah and Israel. However, no group has yet claimed responsibility for the bombings, leaving the nation in a state of suspense and dread. The use of pager bombs represents a troubling escalation in the region's already volatile security landscape. The international community must stand united in condemning these acts of terror and work towards ensuring the safety and security of the Lebanese people. The first wave. Panic and confusion gripped the nation. The initial wave of pager bomb attacks sent shockwaves through Lebanon. Dozens of these devices detonated in quick succession, targeting crowded areas in Beirut and other major cities. The blasts, though relatively small in scale, caused widespread panic and confusion. Hospitals were quickly overwhelmed with casualties, as terrified citizens rushed to seek medical attention for injuries sustained in the explosions. The attacks left many with lingering trauma, haunted by the sudden and unexpected nature of the violence. The streets of Beirut, once bustling with life, were eerily quiet as residents heeded warnings to stay indoors and avoid public gatherings. The Lebanese government, caught off guard by this new form of terrorism, struggled to respond effectively to the crisis. Security forces were deployed to patrol the streets and investigate the attacks, but the perpetrators seemed to have vanished into thin air. The lack of immediate answers only added to the sense of fear and uncertainty gripping the nation. The initial wave of pager bomb attacks exposed the vulnerability of Lebanese society to this new and insidious form of terrorism. The attacks served as a stark reminder of the ever-present threat of violence in a region grappling with deep-seated conflicts and geopolitical tensions. A second wave of explosions, retaliation, or escalation? Just as the Lebanese people began to breathe a sigh of relief, believing the worst to be over, a second wave of pager bomb attacks shattered the fragile peace. These attacks, even more audacious than the first, targeted key infrastructure, including power stations and communication networks. The second wave of explosions plunged the country into darkness, disrupting essential services and further fueling the sense of panic and despair. The attacks seemed designed to cripple Lebanon's already fragile infrastructure and sow chaos among the population. The timing of the second wave, coming just days after the first, suggested a deliberate escalation of violence, possibly in retaliation for some perceived offense. The Lebanese government, already struggling to cope with the aftermath of the first wave of attacks, found itself overwhelmed by the scale and audacity of the second wave. The government issued desperate pleas for international assistance, seeking help in tracking down the perpetrators and preventing further attacks. The second wave of pager bomb attacks raised the stakes significantly, pushing the region closer to the brink of a wider conflict. The international community watched with growing concern, fearing that the situation in Lebanon could spiral out of control, with potentially devastating consequences for the entire region. Section 4. Unconventional warfare. The strategic use of pager bombs. The use of pager bombs in Lebanon represents a disturbing trend in modern warfare. The increasing reliance on unconventional tactics and asymmetric strategies. The choice of pager devices, seemingly obsolete in the digital age, points to the perpetrators' cunning and their ability to exploit the unexpected. These devices, small, easily concealable, and relatively simple to modify, proved to be effective weapons of terror, sowing panic and disruption with chilling efficiency. Their very ordinariness made them difficult to detect, allowing the attackers to operate with a degree of anonymity and deniability. The pager bomb attacks highlight the evolving nature of terrorism and the challenges faced by security forces in countering these unconventional threats. Traditional methods of intelligence gathering and counterterrorism may prove ineffective against adversaries who operate in the shadows, utilizing readily available technology to deadly effect. The international community must adapt its strategies to counter this new wave of terrorism. This will require greater cooperation between nations, enhanced intelligence sharing, and the development of innovative technologies to detect and neutralize these unconventional threats. Section 5. Hezbollah and Israel. A shadow war turns deadly. While no group has claimed responsibility for the pager bomb attacks, suspicions have inevitably fallen on Hezbollah and Israel, two arch-enemies locked in a protracted shadow war. The attacks bear the hallmarks of both organizations, known for their unconventional tactics and willingness to operate outside the bounds of traditional warfare. Hezbollah, with its vast network of operatives and its history of using improvised explosive devices, possesses the capabilities to carry out such attacks. Israel, renowned for its technological prowess and its aggressive stance towards perceived threats, has also been implicated in similar operations in the past. The pager bomb attacks have the potential to ignite a full-scale conflict between Hezbollah and Israel, with devastating consequences for Lebanon and the wider region. Both sides have accused each other of orchestrating the attacks, further fueling tensions and raising fears of retaliation. The international community must urge restraint on both sides, encouraging dialogue and diplomacy to prevent a catastrophic escalation of violence. A peaceful resolution to the conflict between Hezbollah and Israel is essential for the stability and prosperity of the entire region. Section 6. Lebanon caught in the crossfire. A nation on edge. The pager bomb attacks have left Lebanon reeling, once again caught in the crossfire of a conflict not of its own making. The Lebanese people, already burdened by an economic crisis and political turmoil, now face the added trauma of terrorism and the constant fear of further violence. The attacks have shattered the fragile sense of normalcy that had begun to return to Lebanon after years of turmoil. The streets are once again filled with checkpoints and armed guards, a stark reminder of the country's volatile security situation. The attacks have also dealt a blow to Lebanon's struggling economy, deterring tourism and foreign investment. The international community must not abandon Lebanon in its hour of need. Humanitarian aid is urgently needed to alleviate the suffering of the Lebanese people. Equally important is the need for political support, helping Lebanon to chart a course towards stability and prosperity. The pager bomb attacks serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of conflict. The international community must work tirelessly to find a lasting solution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, addressing the root causes of violence and creating a future where all people in the region can live in peace and security.